The Mark of the Beast system is advancing, and it's horrifying, quite frankly. Revelation chapter 13 verse 7 says, "And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations." Was made aware of this. I'm not going to say by who, but somebody shared this information with me, and so I've been doing some research into it myself, and I found this interview. This guy here is Lieutenant General Jack Shanahan. He is the head of Project Maven, and basically, just to make it as simple as I can, the U.S. military back years ago, 2014 or so, right in there, they realized that they are way behind in the technology game of warfare, and that they need to start implementing artificial intelligence, machine learning, and a few other things into weapon systems, because they don't have the personnel to wage modern warfare. And so if they can get artificial intelligence to wage warfare, it will save man hours, it'll be much quicker, and everything else, the algorithms and everything else. I mean, it's seriously scary stuff. Okay, but I was listening to this, and they talk about this thing of Project Maven, and they refer to this to Secretary of Defense thing here, April 26, 2017, this memorandum here, and it says, subject establishment of an algorithmic warfare cross-functional team known as Project Maven. As numerous studies have made clear, the Department of Defense must integrate artificial intelligence and machine learning more effectively across operations to maintain advantages over increasingly capable adversaries and competitors. Although we have taken tentative steps to explore the potential of artificial intelligence, big data, and deep learning, I remain convinced that we need to do much more and move much faster across DoD to take advantage of recent and future advances in these critical areas. Accordingly, I am establishing the Algorithmic Warfare Cross-Functional Team, right there, to accelerate DoD's integration of big data and machine learning. That objective is to turn the enormous volume of data available to DoD into actionable intelligence and insights at speed. Okay? We don't have time for people's normal men's brains to think. We need to have artificial intelligence to make decisions much quicker. The AWCFT's first task is to field technology to augment or automate processing, exploitation, and dissemination for tactical unmanned aerial system. Drones basically would fall under that, and mid-altitude full motion video in support of the Defeat ISIS campaign. It's always about ISIS, which is funny because if you study it, ISIS stands for Israeli Secret Intelligence Services. Interesting. This will help to reduce the human factors burden of FMV analysis, increase actionable intelligence, and enhance military decision making. You can have artificial intelligence make the decisions for you. I mean, what could possibly go wrong when the artificial intelligence decides who lives and who dies? Interesting, because the Bible in Revelation 13 talks about the image of the beast, that it will live and speak and everything else. People will worship the image. AWCFT will, number one, organize a data labeling effort and develop, acquire, and or modify algorithms to accomplish key tasks. Number two, identify required computational resources and identify a path to fielding that infrastructure. And number three, integrate algorithmic-based technology with programs of record in 90-day sprints. Okay. In other words, if they're gathering intelligence, they need to make the decision really quickly. Is this the bad guy? He's right there in that area. If it's him, we need to strike him quickly. We can't have people going through all the red tape and we're not sure we got away. They want to be able to hit and kill like that. So that's horrifying. I hope that they don't ever implement that. They already have. I'll show you here in a minute. The AWCFT will initially provide computer vision algorithms for object detection, classification, and alerts for FMVPAD. Further sprints will incorporate more advanced computer vision technology. After successful sprints in support of intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, PD, the AWCFT will prioritize the integration of similar technologies into other defense intelligence mission areas. AWCFT will also consolidate existing algorithm-based technology initiatives related to mission areas of the defense intelligence enterprise, including all initiatives that develop, employ, or field artificial intelligence, automation, machine learning, deep learning, and computer vision algorithms. Computer vision is another way of them saying artificial intelligence. This general here, Lieutenant General, he talks about that in that interview. You can watch the interview. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence will oversee the AWCFT. The USDI's Director for Defense Intelligence Warfighter Support will serve as the director. An executive steering group comprising senior representatives from USDI, the Joint Staff, the Military Services, the Office of the DoD, General Counsel, and other DoD components as approved by USDI will provide oversight. The AWCFT will be supported by a project office. By a project office, right there. Remember this thing right there. And it goes down through and whatever else there. Within USDI and by an O6 working group from across multiple DoD and intelligence community components. They wouldn't tie in with the CIA or anything, so don't worry about that. Or Mossad or other ones, yeah. The AWCFT will report directly to me and provide monthly updates, with the first update due no later than May 1st, 2017. The guidance within this memorandum will be converted to a directive-type memorandum signed by the Department or Deputy Secretary of Defense within 3 months. So they're saying we need to make this thing happen, is basically what's going on there. But listen to what he says here at this particular moment. If you say, well, hopefully it hasn't been used, like I said earlier, it has been. Where? Wait till you hear.
Anticipate some of that. We anticipated some other things, but what we've seen today is it's being used globally. It is being used in European command in support of the conflict in Ukraine.
So the conflict in Ukraine, they're using it. And look at this company here, Palantir. Palantir with Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, co-founder, I think, of PayPal, if I remember correctly. Peter Thiel, the guy who put J.D. Vance, funded him going into becoming the vice president currently here in America. Palantir. Where else does this term appear? Well, if you do a little Google search for it, oh, it's in the Lord of the Rings. And it's in a crystal ball. If you study the whole Lord of the Rings thing, I had forgotten about this, but it was brought up to me. And in there were I think 7 or 8 or something different Palantir. These like little scrying devices, basically a crystal ball, if you understand the occult, and they look into there and they look for reflections and whatever else. And this Saruman here was in touch with Sauron, I think is what the names were. It's been so long ago since I read all that garbage and did all my research into Lord of the Rings. Completely satanic, the whole deal there, but it was a occult vision for the future. Tolkien, C.S. Lewis, those guys, they were messing around with military intelligence and things, and really weird world to get into. But the whole point is, it's kind of this operational center where, there's different places where the Palantir are at, and then you can see and communicate through these different things in that system. And look at the symbol. It's a crystal ball right there. Interesting. And there's the guy that's currently the head of the Palantir thing there. I don't know what the deal is, but I just have to say this kind of a side note. Why do these guys not even comb their hair anymore? It's kind of some new style or something. Alex Karp. Very weird. Whatever. But it's talking about Palantir here. NATO has purchased Palantir's Maven military artificial intelligence system. The value of the deal is not disclosed. However, it is believed to be one of the American company's most significant defense contracts this year, the Financial Times reports. To continue. Listen to what he says coming up here about Israel's use of it.
And mostly it's the things I talked about earlier in computer vision. So target identification being number one. So discovering targets at a speed that was not possible with just humans poring over imagery, looking at maps, whatever. Similar to, despite the criticisms of, I will just say similar in principle to what we see with Israel in Lavender and Gospel and Where's Daddy. It's about...
Okay, he named 3 things there. Israel. Okay, look at this thing here. It's actually Lavender is how they pronounce it, but Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing spree in Gaza. Wait a second. You mean to tell me that they used artificial intelligence to kill civilians over there? Mm-hmm. And this article here, I'll show you another thing with it. It was actually a Israeli that wrote this article, because a lot of people over there, Jews over there in Israel, are not for what their government's doing. Kind of like here in America. But it says here, the Israeli army has marked tens of thousands of Gazans as suspects for assassination using an AI targeting system with little human oversight and a permissive policy for casualties. Plus 972 and local call reveal. And there's three things that they have. Lavender is one. Then they have Where's Daddy, which is horrifying. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then they have one called, you ready for this? The Gospel. I'm not joking. Talk about blasphemy here. But I want you to see this, because I'm going to show you another article here. And people are going to say, oh, it's democracy now. It's the liberals. They're reporting on this. This guy right here.
The problem with that, of course, is we have
right there, Lieutenant General Jack Shanahan, the man who's in charge of this whole thing. He brought up this thing of their use of lavender, and saying, it's going to be basically that same type of a thing. So right here you have Democracy Now! Website, and she interviews this guy here, Yuval Abraham. Here is the reporter, and he says, Lavender and Where's Daddy, how Israel used AI to form kill lists and bomb Palestinians in their homes. You want to hear a sick joke? The sickness of this whole thing? This Where's Daddy AI program literally traces Hamas terrorists or suspects or whatever else, traces them and follows them home when they're with their family, and then they bomb them. I kid you not, that's what he says in here. You can watch this if you really want to know more. The blessed holy nation of Israel, and they're making AI software saying, Where's Daddy? Because they're going to kill a father when he's home with his children. Purposefully. And if you've seen the whole Tucker Carlson, Mike Huckabee thing, and Mike Huckabee saying, oh, there's thousands of children have died, and does that bother you? Well, we have to do something. They have to do something about it. And America's in for some destruction. I'll tell you what. And he even talked about the fact that Americans were also bombing Gaza, the American military. And he's a Israeli over there seeing it happen. But it goes down through here. It says the Israeli publications plus 972 and local call have exposed how the Israeli military used an artificial intelligence program known as Lavender to develop a kill list in Gaza that includes as many as 37,000 Palestinians who were targeted for assassination with little human oversight. A second AI system known as Where's Daddy tracks Palestinians on the kill list and was purposely designed to help Israel target individuals when they were at home at night with their families. Sick. The targeting systems, combined with an extremely permissive bombing policy in the Israeli military, led to entire Palestinian families being wiped out inside their houses, says Yuval Abraham, an Israeli journalist who broke the story after speaking with members of the Israeli military who were shocked by committing atrocities. Abraham previously exposed Israel for using an AI system called the Gospel to intentionally destroy civilian infrastructure in Gaza. Why would they say the Gospel? Because the IDF is making fun of Christians like you and me. We want to spread the gospel. They say, oh yeah, we'll spread the gospel. Use it to kill civilians, non-Jews. Insane. Including apartment complexes, universities, and banks in an effort to exert civil pressure on Hamas. These artificial intelligence military systems are a danger to humanity, says Abraham. AI-based warfare allows people to escape accountability. And that's what they're building here in America. And I, again, can't say about my source or whatever, but it's already been used in America recently. So again, you can watch this video if you want to hear the whole thing that he's saying there. See the proof of what he's saying. absolutely shocking. And this is 2024. I didn't even know about this. It's crazy what's going on. But right here, this is some of the drone footage coming out of the Ukraine-Russia war. And this is absolutely horrifying. Remember how we started the video back here in Revelation chapter 13, verse 7. It was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. All right? The Antichrist is going to have power to make war with the saints. Saints, again, is a generic term for saved people in any dispensation. You have to understand that. The body of Christ is gone before this stuff happens, but they're already working on the technology and they could use it on us before the catching up of the body of Christ. That's how shocking this stuff is. This is very scary stuff. And he was asked in this interview, she asked him point blank, she said, are drones tied into this lavender technology? And he said, yes, they are. He said, I can't get into a whole lot of detail because of their stuff with the military over there. He'd get himself in a lot of trouble. But he said, yes, they used drones to go out and target people. I'm going to show you some of that. Sorry in advance here. This is very frightening, but I'm going to show it because it's important. It's very relevant. Here we go.
And worn out, the Russian soldier eventually stopped walking and sat down to rest. That was the moment the Ukrainian FPV drone moved in for the attack. The Russian soldier didn't notice the rapidly approaching drone until the very last moment. By the time he realized it and crouched down, it was already too late.
Horrifying. And they show a lot of other ones too. Guys hiding in the woods, and these FPV drones are just flying right through the trees, going right around the trees and just coming in and boom, blowing them up. Boy, you better get saved, I'll tell you what. Time is going to run out. I keep saying it. I keep trying to warn people. I have no idea. We might have a number of years yet, but they could start using this stuff on Christians. Flying drones. How do you get away from it? I mean, have a shotgun with very, small bird shot, small pellets, and that would help, I think, and not just a AK-47 like these Russian soldiers have that they're issued. You need to have a shotgun that can have a big spread of lead going out against these disgusting drones. But I mean, what cowardice! What just a bunch of sissies there with their little drones, then using artificial intelligence. But that's the way of the future. And hey, we have to do something about it. We have Project Maven, and we have to move forward with this. Bunch of servants of the devil. If you're in this system, get out of it. God will judge you for shedding innocent blood like this. And it's funny because I watched this whole interview, and he was actually talking about at one point how that they wanted Google to help the military, the Department of Defense, and the Pentagon, where he works. They wanted to help. Let's work together on this. And a lot of the employees at Google said, I'm not going to have any part of this. I don't want anything to do with making a software system that can kill innocent people. And we're just kind of experimenting right now, and people still have to give the okay before the AI kills and whatever. It's not like we're just having robots killing people or anything yet. They will when they get all the system worked out. Okay. And I watched another one. Not going to get into the other, show the other video here, but they were literally talking about that they can use geolocation tags from social media, and it's called linking. When you join IDs, houses, individuals as quickly as possible, so the AI can make the decision very quickly. Yes, this is the guy. This is the bad guy. And they said this guy that was Israeli journalist. He said that there were times when a Hamas terrorist had the same name as some other civilian, and the AI system went and killed the lavender, went and killed the civilian. Oh, oops, it wasn't the actual Hamas guy, it was somebody with the same name. I mean, horrifying what's going on. And we have no choice because the Chinese are doing it too, and we have to speed up this whole program. So this Israeli guy too, he said that the gospel artificial intelligence system is for a, quote, mass assassination factory. It sounds like death camps to me. Well, you can't have people looking over papers and somebody might make a mistake hey, let's get artificial intelligence to decide who's going to die and who's going to live. Oops, we falsely identified somebody. Oh well, sorry about that. So, real sick stuff, brethren. Makes me want to see the Lord even more. And makes me very glad that I'm not going to be here for the events of the book of Revelation, other than the catching up of the body of Christ, which happens before the Antichrist is unleashed. Looking forward to it. So let's continue to hinder the Antichrist system. Let's continue to expose these wicked Satanists and tell the Jews that they need to flee from the wrath to come, because the wrath of God is coming upon them to the uttermost for what they're doing.